So the first thing we need to do right now is to use the use effect hook, and this will fetch the user from the token. Okay, every time the token is absent or we try and refresh our page, we don't want to redirect the user to go and log in. What we want to do is we want to actually use the token that we have to fetch the user's data, because this the context is expires every time a page is being reloaded. The context expires, so we need a way to always fetch the user's data from the token. So we're going to be using the use effect to actually do that. So this will be react.use effect, and right here we want to initialize authentication. Okay, so we're going to say constant. We want to put this function right here. Okay, but you have to be smart about it so that it won't cause, redirecting and everything. So this will be initialized auth, and this will be async. Okay, so what we want to do right now is we want to cause a side effect, which this whenever this component is being mounted, we want to fetch the user from the token so that we can always have that. And if we don't have a token, we will just log the user out. So that's what we want to do, and we're going to uh, use the initialize auth right here. Okay, so the first thing we want to check right now is that we want to constant token equal to storage dot get value, and we get the value for that token. Okay, so this will be token. We have the token right now, and let's just say if token is not true, we can just return from the function. Okay, or you throw an error, something like that. So from there, the next thing we can do is we can make an API request to fetch authenticated user. Okay, so we can say constant user equal to await uh, fetch auth user. Okay, so we don't have that function right now, so let's just go ahead and quickly create that function. So this will be fetch auth user, and right here let's just say constant fetch auth user async. um, okay, so we get the token the same way we get it right here. Let's just copy that. We have the token right here, and we say if token is not true. Okay, if the token is not true, we just return null. Okay, let's also return null right here. Let's just also return null right here. Okay, if not, we go ahead and say constant response equal to await Axios. Now we're importing directly from Axios. We don't want to use the wrapper that we created, and this will be Axios.get. And right here we just go to our auth slash user. This is the database route endpoint for getting authenticated user, and right here we put the headers, and right here what we do is we put the authorization, and this will be barrier, and this will be $ token. Okay, and basically this is all we need to do, and right here we just return response dot data data as the authenticated user. Okay, and yeah, this I will fetch the authenticated user, and right here if you look at the return type now, is returning authenticated user. Okay, so the next thing we need to do right now is to come here and do something with that user that we're getting. Okay, so if if we are not getting any user, we'll just go ahead and re- return probably null or something. But if we're getting a real user, then we want to dispatch that user. Okay, we want to dispatch that user, and we say type equal to login success, and we put in the user. Okay, and this is basically all we need to do for now. And the next thing is, if we don't actually get that user, okay, yeah, this is all we need to do for now. But if we don't get that user, we need to log out that user. Okay, we need to log out that user. So if user is not true, we need to actually log out that user. So let's quickly rearrange this. Right here we just say if user is true. If user is true, then we do this. And if user is not true, which is the else statement, we just come here and clear our storage. Okay, so that we won't get a loop. Set storage, clear storage, and we want to clear token. The next one, we want to also clear we want to clear um, refresh token. Okay, we want to also clear refresh token. And yeah, this is all we need to do for now. And right here, if we run into an error, we also want to do the same thing. So we're not doing anything with the error that we're getting, we just want to clear this error out. Okay, so basically this is all we need to do for now on the use effect. We have that right now. The next thing we need to do is to actually build. Now the users are getting logged in successfully, no problem, nothing. And the next thing we need to do right now is to build the logout function. Okay, so let's go ahead and build the logout function right now. So we're going to call this constant log out, and right here this will take a React dot callback, because we need to, you know, optimize this. So we put this in a React, go to React dot use call out. So this will just store the result from this function. Yeah, we have use memo and use callback in terms of optimization in React. So this will just return this will just um, save the output of this function until the dependencies, everything changes. So the first thing we want to do is we want to clear all, all storage values. We want to clear everything. And the next thing we want to do is local storage dot remove. If you remember, we have a redirecting path, so we're going to come here and remove that redirect path. And the next thing is like we're just clearing everything that we save on the user's data when the users log out. We're just clearing everything away. So the next thing we want to dispatch, what we actually want to dispatch is we want to dispatch the type of logout. We want to dispatch that logout. And the next thing we can use is the query client that we created. We can go ahead and clear everything out, all the query clients. Remember, we are using React query. And the next thing is we can say notification. Remember, we've built our notification, so let's just go and import that and use that right here. So we say constant notification equal to use notification that hook we created, and right here we can say where did this import to? Um, 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 and this is not the right import right here. So that's not the right import. We can use the right import right here, and this will be query client equal to use query client. Okay, and the next one is the next one the next one that we need to import is the navigate, because we need to navigate user out of their current route whenever they log out. So this will be used navigate from React router DOM, and that's all we need to import. And right here we can say notification and dot show, and right here we can just use that, use notification dot show, and right here what do we want to show? We want to show title to be logged out successful, successful, and message we can say user logged out. Okay, and the type we can have this to be success. Okay, a type of success. And the next thing we can then do is we can now navigate the user out of that particular page. So we say navigate, this will be auth uh, slash auth, so that we get uh, the part after the domain. So this will be slash or slash, and right here we just say replaced equal to true, so that the user can't actually go back. Okay, so we have that, and right here we can give this some dependencies, so that if those dependency changes, then um so let's just update those dependencies. Okay, yeah, we have this function right now, and the next function that we need to do right now is the auth sources. Okay, so right here if you check, we have this auth sources right here, so we need to create that one also. So let me just copy and paste, and right here we say react dot use callback again, because we want to save optimize as many as function as possible. Okay, so this will be auth sources, and right here we can say async. Okay, this will be async user type and type of auth user, and right now this will return a dispatch. Okay, so auth sources we always accept a user. Okay, that's what that means. Auth type, auth sources we always, you know, um get a user. So we can go ahead and say type equal to login sources, and we'll pass that user to that, and yeah, this will take an array, and right here um as the dependency we make it an empty array. Let's see if there is a problem somewhere. um yeah, so we messed up the syntax, we messed up the syntax right here. So yeah, so this will take a callback function. So all of this needs to be, I think, right here. Let's just follow the correct syntax. um let's take this away. Let's see. This messed up. Okay, let's put this. Yeah, so this is the correct syntax. Yeah, so we put in the function as a callback to this, and yeah, we put an empty array, which means that this will only run once. Okay, so the next one is we can now export our provider. We can link our provider to our context. But how do we do that? First of all, let's create an object called value where we can have all the values exported, but we want to also optimize them first. So we use the use memo. Use memo is for memorizing um, values. Okay, so this will take a function, an anonymous function, I can call it that, and this will have uh, this an anonymous function is just the same thing that we did right here, just that we just did it like this. We just did it like this. Okay, that's just the same thing that we're doing. Okay, we're just giving that a name right here, but right now we're not giving it a name. So we can say is logged in. So these are the values that we want to export. We say state dot is logged in. We want to say user, and this will be state dot user. And the next thing is we want to say logout. Yeah, we have logout, we have dispatch, and we have the auth sources. Okay, we have the auth sources, and these are the values that we want to export out of this function. And right here, where I just put a state dependencies, we want to say state. Let me just update this. Okay, um, logged out. Let me just put state in general. Okay, yeah. Okay, so right now we need to return our auth context dot provider. Okay, we need to give it a provider, and the value will now be what will be value that we just created. So we're passing all this into our context, and we're giving our provider to use those those values. And right there we just pass the children that we extracted. So children, remember I told you that this is going to wrap our whole application, and that's exactly what we do. So to actually use this, we can create a export, and we say use auth, and right here export constant, and we say use auth, and right here we say constant context equal to React dot use context. Okay, remember that one was React dot that one was create context, use context, and we pass the auth context to it. Okay, so right here we want to say if context is not true, so if we're using the use auth out of that context wrapper that we talked about, and we're going to throw new error, and the error will be what use auth must be used within an auth provider. Okay, so that's it, and right here we just return context. Okay, and this is all we need to do, guys. This is all we need to do. Let's just go over this again. First of all, we created the auth state. We created the auth state right here. We created the auth actions, and we created the context action. And right here, we created the context, and we created the context right here, and we initial right here we created the context, and we initialize it to be undefined first, because at first when the user gets to the application, they are not logged in immediately. They need to actually log in. So the initial state is set to undefined. Then what we did is to use the uh, reducer. We have the auth reducer, and right here we use the reducer, and we also initialize some state. And right here we also, these are basic imports, and we're fetching the authenticated user right here. So far we have a token, and we're using the use effect to like create a side effect, in the sense that once you logged into the platform, or once you enter the platform, we need to know that, were you initially logged in, or do you have a token before? If you have a token, we just log you in. We don't need to, tell you to go and log in anymore. And we have the logout function right here. And right here, we need to dispatch this auth success. And the reason for this is, when on our login page, we need to actually use this some auth success. So the next thing is, we created some values that we want to export, and right here we, in our out context, we're providing the provider that we created, and we're giving it values. Okay, we're giving it values, and right here we're saying auth, that we're creating a use instance for those authenticate auth provider or auth context that we created. So yeah, that's pretty much what we need to do for now. And the next video, we need to actually test this and actually use them. And I'll see you in next video.